Hi, this is Tammy with the Forgiveness Connection, and you got to forgive me because I have been down for the count for a couple of days with this chest cold, so I have a cough drop in my mouth, but I wanted to come to you to do your episode number 48 of Forgiveness on the Fly, and tonight we're going to talk about alone. So we're going to do affirmations for forgiveness about having to do things alone and how that feels for people not having support, and that resistance to feeling like alone is a bad thing. So we're going to go ahead and begin. I forgive myself for believing it's always going to be this way in my life. I'm always going to be stuck doing it on my own. Take a deep breath in. I forgive myself for believing it's all my fault that I keep ending up alone. Deep breath in. I forgive myself for the times I was the person that caused somebody else to do something alone because I didn't show up, or I rejected them, or I left them, or I broke up with them, or I just forced them to do it on their own. Deep breath in. I forgive myself for believing this will never change in my life, and I'm going to constantly be in a situation where I feel like I'm doing things on my own. Deep breath in. I forgive myself for really believing that I do anything on my own, and for all of the love and support that exists that I can't feel in times of high stress when I feel like I'm all alone. And deep breath in. I forgive the people who don't call and check on me when I'm sick, and the people who always think I'm okay, because I have had this pattern in my life of just doing it on my own. Deep breath in. I raise my level of acceptance to reaching out to people when I need help, to calling people and not waiting for them to call me and check on me, and asking for what I need so I never have to feel like I'm doing it all on my own. Deep breath in. I forgive myself for believing I'm special and people should want to help me not have to do it on my own. Deep breath in. Pause. You have to go to Open Heart Holistic Counseling, Paige Cargioli. She has a book out there, The 40 Days of Forgiveness, and her one for today is about being special or not being special. So that was my little plug for Paige. Okay, resume live. I forgive myself for the times I should have done it on my own and I didn't. I did it with the love and support of others, or I depended on people when I shouldn't have, and that set up this situation where I feel entitled to more help, more checking on me, more love, more connection, more of everything that makes it feel like I'm not just doing this on my own. And deep breath in. I asked God to show me what he's trying to teach me about this doing it on my own thing. And I say yes to learning whatever the lesson is that he has for me about my resistance to doing it on my own. Deep breath in. I forgive my birth story and the truths about that story that could have me believing that I have to do it on my own, or that people that I need aren't always there for me. Deep breath in. I forgive my mom for the times she and I had to do it on our own. And I raise our level of acceptance to recognizing with my grandparents and the other people that love me and my grandma Pat, like we really didn't have to do it on our own. But back then, during the time when I was a baby and my mom was a single mom, we definitely had some moments of doing it on our own. Deep breath in. I forgive my mom for everything that was hard back then that I never forgave her for because I was a baby and I wasn't conscious of it. Deep breath in. I asked my son to forgive me for the things that I have to do on my own now that he's a part of that might make him feel some kind of way. Deep breath in. I call up all of this alone pattern, this pattern of having to be tough and do it on my own, this pattern of not asking for help, and I release it from every cell of my mind, my body, and my spirit, and I give it all to God. And I ask God to heal this space of in me and in my generation of a mom having to do it on her own, or this pattern of single momness. And deep breath in. I raise my level of acceptance and gratitude to everything I don't really have to do on my own. The people that made air conditioning, and the people that made, to-go cups for coffee, and things that make my life easier, that never really have me doing it fully on my own. Deep breath in. I show love and honor and respect to the generations before us and everything that was invented and the great minds that created new, easier ways of doing things like indoor plumbing and things that are life-changing for us, as we don't have to, go out into the woods and go to the bathroom or, anything crazy unless we choose to go on a hike and do that, right? Deep breath in. I ask the people in my life to forgive me for the things I make them do on their own, and for this pattern of aloneness. Deep breath in. I say yes to the love and gratitude I have for everything that I truly don't have to do alone. And I even acknowledge my resistance to alone, to how it feels to be alone. How, because I'm a pretty social butterfly kind of person, being alone can feel like a rejection to me. It can feel like a very quiet, lonely space. And I call up all of that loneliness, and I trust it, and I give it to God. I trust Him with it. I never truly am alone. I can read my Bible. I can make a list for gratitude. I can call people. There are many, many, many things that separate the space of aloneness from this internal feeling of alone. And I recognize out loud that my internal feeling of aloneness has absolutely nothing to do with my space of being alone in this house right now. Deep breath in. I love and accept myself addressing this alone, not this alone. And I give myself permission to talk about why I feel alone inside, to gain a deeper connection with the friends and the family and the church friends and the colleagues that I have, so that it can actually address the true alone that I'm feeling versus the alone that is from being in a space by myself. Deep breath in. Without this pattern of alone and this pattern to doing it on my own, I'm free to open massive space where I can be full of gratitude for the moments when I get time and space by myself. And instead of filling them with anxiety or grief or sadness or resistance, I can actually fill that time with peace and connection to God. That's a really good thing to replace it with. Deep breath in. I call up all of my resistance to alone, and I release it, and I fill that space with massive love and connection and peace and gratitude for the protection in my life and this time to reflect and spend some time alone with God. Deep breath in. I love and accept myself. Even when I'm afraid, I'll still have moments of alone and moments of resistance to asking for help. And I let myself off the hook. I give it a rest, and I let myself just rest and be full of peace. Deep breath in. I say yes to any trauma, any true patterns of generational situations about being alone that are called up from my past, and I release them all. Deep breath in. I love and accept myself letting go. Deep breath in. Okay, guys, that's it. I'm going to continue resting on my couch for the rest of today. Forgive me for not being at the office, and those of you that I had to reschedule. I'll be back in the office bright and early tomorrow. Again, this is Tammy with the Forgiveness Connection, where forgiveness is key. Hey, by the way, since it's laying right here, if you're struggling with a depression or just finding gratitude in the things that you do have, like I was struggling with, get a gratitude journal. There's lots of different ones. I have several options. I'll show you another one tomorrow, but that's just a real simple one. It just has blank spots. You can write in the date and you can write in 3 things that you're grateful for. Honestly, in the beginning, some days I was like, I'm grateful for coffee. I'm grateful that it's not raining. And now I see a lot more intricacies to my gratefulness. And I'm truly grateful for the position I'm in, that I can help people and point them in the right direction and actually honestly do these live videos that are just free so that people can get help that they need when they're out there and they're struggling and they don't have money, or you don't want to reach out. They're embarrassed. I've been there. So again, I'm Tammy. I have a little counseling shop in downtown Somerville called the Forgiveness Connection, and I'd love to help you. It's a holistic counseling center, so we use a mind, body, spirit approach. And honestly, there's nothing you can't talk about in that office because it's pretty open and it's a very safe space. So I love to connect with you. I'll see you next time for another episode of Forgiveness on the Fly, and I'm going to go recover now on my couch. Have a great night.